discussion. So we'll go on. We do have the draft minutes from the June 22nd meeting. Do we have an motion to approve the minutes? First, any corrections?
Yeah, motion was that my name is reflected as being absent and,
Okay.
just I don't know about that.
Okay. Any other corrections that anybody sees? So can we have a motion to approve the minutes with the
Can
corrections?
I just ask you, is Anthony's
So
last name Pandolfo or Pandolfi?
And off.
Pandolf.
Pandolfo, because this is just spelled, just a
E on
drop.
the end, I'm
Pendolf.
not sure.
Yeah,
Pandolf.
Yeah, I think
You're
there's
not-
an E on the end.
there might be an E. I mean,
There's
there's
no-
not an I, I know that.
There's no E that I saw.
Okay, just that there's a spelling, you just remember that, that's all.
Okay,
I believe there, I have to check, but I want to say that Ed McHugh was here virtually last month, but I do an attendance, I'll check that.
Okay, because we were talking about him, but I don't remember him being on the.
I don't think.
Okay.
it's-
Because we were talking about him very freely.
No, I remember him being there.
who's
Oh, you
that?
do? I can't. Was he there?
He was on Zoom, yeah,
Okay.
he was on Zoom,
Okay,
or WebEx, I should say.
Anthony's last
I've started
name is-
recording, so we're.
Yeah.
We're good.
It is spelled with an E on the end.
Okay.
Okay,
Very good.
All right, so, any other corrections? So, do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
The second,
I'll second it.
any other discussion on the minutes? Okay, all in favor? Okay, that's passed. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda? I bring my, so let's give it to you in August.
I make a motion to approve the agenda as written.
I'll second it.
Just- Charlotte. All right. Remarks. Well, I went to the second, Summer Sounds with Jay, of course. Jay and I have quite a long history, and I was very pleased to see how nicely it was attended. I had to leave, unfortunately, but there were still people coming. I think people are looking for it. The town hall lawn is actually a wonderful place. We have more shade, it seems like. Spear Park was nice, but it's nice to start bringing people closer to the riverfront and getting them acclimated to doing things here. So it was very, very nice. And looking forward to hopefully being able to attend some other of the concerts. But all in all, I think we're moving right along. A lot of activities, people are looking to get out. And just, I was just in Chicago visiting. I was talking to the mayor this morning, and I went to this, it's a concert venue called Ravinia, and they had a pavilion with seating inside like a theater, and then of course sitting outside in the lawn. They had the monitors and a wonderful sound system. So as we're thinking about the riverfront and what we looking for a music venue, because there is someone who has an art application in to design something, but starting to pay more attention to those. And certainly this is Chicago, or outside of Chicago, so it's huge, but if we have something more, smaller, scaled down. So looking at that, but I said all this to say, as I was explaining to Mayor, that I feel that our arts coordinator and at least one member of the commission, if there's gonna be a committee formed, or whoever is looking at that is gonna look for assistance from us, that at least one member of the commission, along with the arts coordinator, should be involved in that discussion and conversation. That's what we would like to see as not only just a music venue for concerts, but things that we can use for multiple purposes. I'd like to see something we can kind of enclose so it can be utilized during the winter months. those are just some of the things that I was thinking about. So I mentioned that to him this morning, that, you know, that this person is gonna be working in conjunction with the city on this, that we should, the commission should be involved in that process in some sort of way.
Just a quick question, the person has a lot of experience with doing this,
This is what they do, so that's why.
Oh,
no,
good,
this
because
is-
I've seen
this is-
some wonderful ones in San Francisco too. I know
Yeah, yeah,
Virginia and Tanglewood is kind of a bigger version probably
Yeah.
of Virginia.
yeah, but this is what they do. They've done them, I guess, all over the country, so. and he
Willimantic
wants to do
has
something
nice.
here, huh?
Willimantic has a nice
Yeah, you,
event. Yep. Very
They're gonna
nice.
have a wonderful job with some public art too.
so anyway, as we move forward, that's kind of what we'd like to, you know. So that's about it for me and those ideas, but just want to keep making sure that we as an arts commission stay involved, especially as we move forward with the riverfront. Chris and I were just talking, he says, you know, I said, I hope I'm still sane enough and able enough by the time this project comes to fruition to enjoy it, And Chris like, me too. I said, no, but I'm closer to 70 than I am 60. And, but we are a lot farther along in the plans than we have been. So, I'm looking forward to see what things are gonna look like in 3 to 5 years. But I wanna make sure, shouldn't say I wanna make sure, but we need to make sure that in some of these things that involve the arts, whether it's the music venue or whatever, that we have a presence and we have at least some input into what we would want to see as a commission. So those are kind of my thoughts for now. And so we will move on. I don't want to prolong it anymore, but just keep thinking where we can, we need to be able to say, hey, we need to be involved in that, especially if it has anything to do with the arts in any kind of way.
I don't want to interrupt, but I
Sorry.
know there was I had a conversation with people at West St. Hodge, and they're gonna be meeting with the mayor, and some of the discussion will be about also the riverfront and also public art too. So I thought that was nice that they were reaching out and, you know, feeling that this was an important time to start to have a conversation.
Exactly, because once it's done,
Right,
it's gonna be kind of done.
right.
So we need to make sure
And it'll
we,
take
you
long.
know, it's easier to do it now than it's done and then we're trying to change things,
And
so.
the long view may not be a bad idea, that we may end up, I mean, you know, I see how things progressed in San Francisco over the years that have been there so many times. And it took it took, you know, 10, 15 years to get some stuff done, but it's great now, you know,
Yeah.
so it's about planning and planning well.
Yeah, so I think the plans are looking great but as these things start to come up that haven't been done yet and not are cast in stone yet, we need to make sure that we have some sort of presence in some of these discussions, or at least our input is, we're able to share input, so
Yeah,
that's kind of it, for me. Old business staff. Oh, I'm sorry, Joyce, you want to say something?
No, 2 people have joined
Yeah.
about 4 minutes ago, Ed McCune and Joyce
Yeah.
Kirkpatrick.
she must have had some surgery.
Staff report.
Okay,
Um,
Keisha, staff report.
Can I get a date on the calendar for a grants committee meeting with a lead commissioner and 2 other commissioners? Grant season is coming up. I remember last month I asked for a meeting to convene, but I haven't had, it's been pretty busy, so can we get a date on the calendar?
So this is for a grant account.
This is for just the grant process. We're entering the fall, so we're gonna start going live with opening up the grant season. So I'd like to do that with members of the commission as we do every year. Look over the guidelines, make sure everything is in order. I'm gonna do a new application that's gonna be submitted online. But if you don't
So
want
are you
input,
looking for the grant subcommittee that
Yeah.
has been doing that? Okay.
yes.
And that would be myself, Dominique,
Choice. It's two.
who else was on it?
Yeah, Judy was on it too, but Joyce was on it also.
I believe any commissioner can
Sure.
Can any commissioner join? Who, I believe at this point, because time is so of essence, I would happily accept 3 commissioners who would like to be a part of this.
Okay, why don't we just set up a date then? Why don't we set up a date and then whoever can,
Yeah.
who's ever available, is available.
It's a good idea.
Who would like to suggest a date?
How soon and what day of the week?
Within a week? Within 2 weeks. After the circus is fine.
Yes.
When's the circus over?
August 5th is the performance. I'll throw out the week of the 8th. Are you around me? Are you on vacation?
No, I'm not going anywhere until August 20th, but I really think we had so many things in the works that I think we should be a continuation of that meeting rather than start from the beginning. Do you understand that am I on the right page? It's like all the things we had talked about in the rough drafts that we had done.
Well, the guidelines are all set. We're just gonna go through home and we're not reinventing the wheel.
Okay.
We're just reviewing and reposting, that's all. If you trust my input, I'll.
What if you just sent it out to us, we read it, and if anybody has a thing to say, then we can.
So what I'm asking again
It's
is,
better to meet.
I
because
need
then you know.
commissioners to meet on the granting process.
Okay,
Go
so
to that.
let's pick a date and then a date and time and then whoever's available that wants to be a part of this.
August 9th is what now? Is a month? What
It's
is
a Tuesday, August 9th is a Tuesday.
Yeah, that'll work for me.
Particular time of the day,
Anytime.
and it can be virtual if you like, make it even super simple.
Any-
Does that work for you, Lee?
Yes.
Oh, that works for you, that's nice.
August 9th?
Yeah, I think so, I'm just checking.
11 a.m.,
11.
2
I
p.m.,
can do anytime after 1, yeah.
2 p.m. on August 9th.
What day is that? It's a
Tuesday.
I'll be on it too.
That'll be great.
Okay, all right, August 9th, 2 p.m. Just grants review,
It's very brief and quick and just kind of.
grant process.
Yep.
review.
That's,
Okay,
Okay. Tomorrow's concert, Ronnie Arvo and
just
Dave.
quick question,
Oh,
so will you
okay.
send this out to us first? Okay, and then we can just look at it quickly, okay, perfect, thank you.
okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Tomorrow's concert is Ronnie Arvo and Daisy Mayhem. We're scheduled for a no rain show out in front of City Hall, but it is mostly gonna rain. So our rain location is South Church. So if you're on Facebook and you get my email notifications,
That's in South Church.
you'll know of this information that I'm giving you ahead of time. Rain call will be made internally at 9 a.m. and then we'll assess it and make the post at noon
Will it be in the church or in their church hall? I mean,
in their sanctuary.
in their sanctuary.
Yeah, I'll send that notification out. Circus performance is next Friday, August 5th at 5 p.m. Love to rally all commissioners that are available to attend.
I'll be in the band.
Oh,
Yes, you should,
there you go,
I've gone last year.
At what time, Keisha?
5 p.m. I believe we sat next to each other last year. The arts coordinator position has been approved to go for an upgrade. That effective upon passage by the Common Council, the following changes to the arts coordinator job description are approved to reflect the revised duties with a recommended salary increase to UPSU Local 6457 salary grade 10. The arts coordinator position is moved from a salary grade 11 to a 12. I misspoke, salary grade 12. It's gone one step. It has not been reviewed since 2000, so it's 22 years. I have looked, I've presented a job description with a few upgrades of responsibilities that are not reflected. They accepted, and it will go on the agenda for the arts office is also, I told you the last meeting, but I did meet with HR. An assistant to the arts office has been approved, and I hope to be setting that up in the fall with posting of the job opportunity in the earliest spring, late winter, like in January. So if you can see here, our office is getting stronger in incremental steps.
Hmm.
Longevity is what I'm looking for, so it's let's see,
What is the grade for the assistant?
I believe it's I may misspeak, but I believe it's a 9. I will find that out for you.
Thank you.
Okay, open air market is scheduled for, and I did not write the date. I did send an email out that I will not be in attendance for the open air market this year. So it will require the
It's a Sunday, it's last.
Sunday, the assistance of all hands on deck of commissioners to help with the execution of the open air market. I believe Lee has done it consistently for 15, I don't know how many years, you'll have to say.
Since the first one.
Since the first one. I've done it consistently for the time that I've been in this position, and did when I was a commissioner. Doesn't really matter. Sorry, but so
So have the date in another calendar, but I do have it and I did preserve it,
okay.
Is
so I will
it
be here.
the last Sunday or the next last?
It
Sunday?
says
The
an
21st?
email.
It's the 28th,
Sunday
it's
the
the 28th.
28th. 28th, great. So there's a bit of heavy lifting involved, so that's why I've tried to prepare you all in advance so that to organize with Lee and organize as a group on what that plan of action is, as so not to leave Lee out there by himself the entire day, because it proves to be a long day. I know in the past commissioners kind of float in and float out, but it is necessary for commissioners to stick around and stay for the day to support Lee. And I'm making a grand assumption, Lee, that you will be there.
Yeah, you actually mentioned it to me when you told me that you weren't.
Because I'm also involved with the mansion, I kind of, so I don't think I do as much for the commission because I'm more involved with the mansion, but I can be there early and help you with putting up the tent and whatever's necessary. Okay, I can do that.
What I will do is,
And leave you.
as we get a couple weeks away from it, I'll send an email to everyone and just.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yep.
Everything is stacked in my office in a corner on top of a table as it's ready to go. I have 2 tents.
I'll definitely meet with you.
Yeah, everything is on the table, ready to go, so it's really just a pack the car and go, pop it up and set up.
Mhm.
Pretty simple.
There's gonna be 84 vendors there this year. It's gonna be very big. Let's hope it's a lovely day.
Some publicity, we have Circus that has been featured in the news, not once, but twice, Channel 8 and NBC. I've sent emails out, I hope you've been able to view. Along with that, there was a link to watch Where Art Thou, which was the segment with Ray Hardman, CPTV.
It was
I hope
great.
you all
You did a
enjoyed
great
that.
job, Alicia. Yeah.
I feel honored to be in the position to have done that, as nerve-wracking as it was and as nervous as I was. I pulled it together and I'm glad that happened. I'm happy to represent the city and the art sector.
Now, because you do represent the city as an employee, is it okay for you to give autographs?
Thank you. Right before the circus is an event, I put a poster over there called National Night Out, hosted and spearheaded by the police department, PAL organization. It's next Tuesday, August 2nd, 5 to 8 p.m. right in front of, they're gonna shut down the portion of Main Street right in front of the police department, barricaded with utility vehicles and such. I've sent the notifications out. I don't need to, elaborate too much because they did a great job in presenting what they plan to do. And your presence is always welcome and encouraged. And I think it's gonna be a great event for the city. National Night Out is a national initiative to bring police and community together through these activities as spearheaded by the police
Oh, that's a
department.
great idea.
Yeah.
Very
Is that the name of the event,
Yes.
National Night Out?
Yep, National Night Out.
So that's a
What's the
it's a
date?
nationwide-
August 2nd.
August 2nd, so it's a,
I wrote everything else but that.
That's all I have to report. I will add, just as a reminder, August meeting is generally canceled. I don't know if that's going to happen this year, but just to throw that out there as a reminder. I have nothing left to report.
Okay, thank you, Keisha. Any committee reports?
Planning and projects. Under planning and projects, we have an update on the McCaw Award. We are still waiting. I forwarded Keisha all of the emails that I've had with the school. We have one of the pieces of artwork, but we're trying to get the girl to bring another. My final email to the teachers responsible were if they felt it appropriate, I would be happy to contact the girl and meet her somewhere and pick it up. Didn't get an answer to that. So that's that, but we will get it. And Keisha, they did receive their checks?
Yes, it's in the mail. Yes, it is in the mail, and just to explain further, it was signed by the mayor and Pam this morning for the email that I sent you, expressing how difficult it was to gather the children and their information in forms. Once school ends, it's impossible to reorganize everyone. So we got an MCA check and expedited the 2 awards efficiently, so that they did not have to do any more work and they did not have to wait any further for their funds.
Okay.
Okay, and so I mailed just today an actual award and their check. And
So we have
Signature
one
on it.
artwork that actually is, but the second one is not physically here.
Right.
No, that person's gonna get their check. Okay.
So what I'm going to try to do next year is make sure, if we can, have the checks for them on the day of the
In the-
award ceremony
Got it.
and collect the artwork on the day of the award ceremony. Yep. The hard part is the kids.
We used to
Well,
do
seniors
that, though.
sometimes use it for college things, so they don't have it there then. And I do not want to have them not show their best piece of work for that. But so many of these applications, they're using copies and prints of that artwork anyway. And so
Yeah, they're not
many-
trying to.
Right, so I think that's gonna help us. And any projects, I think that was it for that, right?
All right.
So public art.
Public art, yeah.
Yeah, we met in front of the.
The window with Lee and Julia was there and Joyce was there. So we had a discussion about what was going on, what was planned, and what we could do going forward. I'm gonna have Lee fill in some of those details, but, so we'll do that now, and then I have just one more thing to announce.
So some of those details, Jim, who opens it for us, has been out of the country. He just returned yesterday. So I didn't even bother him today. I'm gonna give him like a day or two. I'll send him.
Wait till Monday.
warning that I'm going to bother.
Wait till
him.
Monday.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And that is, they have it locked down and it says, he has it really locked because he's been gone. And unfortunately, it says the time is out. The end fell off their old sign. So that I would have loved to have gotten in 2 weeks ago and fixed, but I couldn't do it. So we're going to, that's, I guess,
Yeah.
to let them know what you guys found out, what we found out is, and I think I said this last month too, it's very, very dark in there and there's really no lighting. We don't want to reinvent this entire thing.
Right.
So we're going with the dark theme. The televisions that are in there are already there and they are bright once we get them on and going. What I've asked public art to work on is finding something that's going to be artistic within there. So it's not to take away, we don't need anything that's competing with the televisions because they're busy enough and they're giving the information that we want to give. So somehow to put something in there we're working on the phrase.
What was
so,
it again?
so I guess I suggest that we bring this to the group. What do we want
Mhm.
the window to always say? You know, and Lee had come up with the idea of a day without,
A day without art is like
or
it's like a day without
a life without art is like a
life.
day without sunshine.
Yeah.
And have it somehow like creatively done.
Which is life without art. It's like a day without art.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm not sure that, I mean, I'm wondering what you all think, because it seems like this is gonna be up for a while.
Yeah, I think right.
What do we wanna say? Like, what are we trying to convince? Are we trying to convince people that they need more art in their lives, or do we wanna? I kind of feel like it's a little misleading, because maybe it should be more about, here's what's happening, you know, because that's what's gonna be on the screens. It's gonna be, there's gonna be what is
Slideshow.
and also there's gonna be one that has a listing of what is
Events.
gonna be
Events.
happening. So, does anyone have anyone good at branding?
Well, we want to put down somewhere 50 years
Well,
of
there's gonna be-
MCA. Somehow we
Yeah,
need
that's-
that.
Right?
Yeah,
The
we're
banner.
definitely gonna have that mounted somewhere on
The
the.
big banner, the MCA banner. I don't know if you
No,
want to
'cause
do that.
I don't think that will fit. I think we're going to look into having that clear but words that go like white words against all the
Right,
black
right.
on the window.
It's gonna be
Okay.
attached to the window itself.
And it will be coming down in January anyway, so it's gonna be something that's up for the 50th and then down, and
Okay,
it's just kind of advertising our
Okay.
50th at the same time.
yeah.
As far as the,
But there are two things, though, two actually slogans. One is for the window that someone will be looking at a video
Oh,
of
yeah, there's
themselves.
also
So just
video
so,
thing.
there are two things.
so the second half of this window, we have one big window.
Mhm.
And it's actually kind of too big for us to use. And if Adult Ed is nice enough to give us this window, I would like to give them something in it to advertise themselves. So what we're going to do is keep the theme going with a TV screen that is in a smaller window that's separated from ours.
Mm.
That TV screen, there's going to be a camera mounted in back. So whoever looks into that window will see themselves on the screen. And we were going to put a slogan, something like, the face in the screen can do anything.
Mm.
That type of
Something
thing, to just give them
inspirational.
support.
Mhm.
It'll be interactive. I talked to, head of DVD,
Sandra.
Sandra, in something else I was telling her, and she loved it. She also loved the fact that it was interactive, and the next door up has the
Has the
interactive sound thing.
interactive sound.
So it puts two interactive things on the street, and it should be really good.
Oh,
And I don't think a lot of people are gonna stop and read it. I
No,
think
they're
Yeah.
simple, impactful is good. The people that walk by, that look at that thing, hopefully people are gonna wanna play with it.
Yeah.
Kids are gonna wanna come up, and teenagers are gonna,
Yeah.
and everybody's gonna wanna come up and do goofy faces and things like that. So that one,
So somewhere we'll say, continue education.
right, there'll be
I'm just
something,
surprised how many people actually stop and read, because I find, especially where in the Riverview Center, there's a plaque there. And it's interesting when I go up for lunch, people, or especially people from out of town, will stop and read what's there. So you'd be surprised how many people will stop and stand there for a few minutes and read or whatever. So I think for the slogan, maybe we just kind of marinate on it for a few days
Yeah.
and then just send an email
See what
and say, hey, this is what I came up with, and then we can kind of do a, vote and say, yeah, I like that one, but I kind of like that one, because what does art do? In a lot of cases, it does kind of make us smile and it brightens our day and that kind of thing. So, but I think we should marinate. I mean, my suggestion is marinate it on a day or two
Right.
and think about it. And what do we really want to say? And then
I
just
also thought
suggestions.
it would be an opportunity to say, if you want to get involved in the arts in Middletown, here's some contact information.
That's
Here's the the email address of Keisha where you can volunteer or.
And that's a way
And
to
we can have that on the big screen.
Yeah, exactly. So somewhere in that window, there should be something kind of permanent that says, you too can get involved in
Right.
what happens in this community and
Right.
when it comes to the arts.
That'd be a good
You know,
way to
like-
get, that would be a good way to recruit extra hands for different events and. maybe
also we're
potential
gonna-
commissioners, as
yeah,
long as
we're
we're
gonna
trying to
use
reach young
mentors.
people as
Yeah.
well.
That's,
So,
yeah.
That's a good idea.
The other thing that you mentioned,
Yeah.
being something that showed, I thought you said it, something more than art, like we're putting art in, like
Yeah,
a day, oh wait, life without art is like a day without sunshine.
Right.
But that kind of ties in, telling them that all the things on that screen, fireworks are art.
Yeah.
And anything we're advertising on that screen is art. So it kind of gives them
Yeah.
that thing, it's almost the opposite of what you said. We're showing them that all of this is art,
Right,
that
yeah.
what you're doing daily is art.
We
We
need
also-
to,
Oops,
sorry, I just was thinking that whatever the slogan is, it should really, I think people should feel and understand that there are, that they are surrounded by art, whether they realize it or not. You know, it is all part of our lives, clothes we wear, the music we listen to, you know, the things we read, the things we visually hang in our houses, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah,
all that.
I mean, as long as it's a camera focused on the person going by, what about, what's your art?
Well, except for that's
Because
for,
that's-
it's not for us though, right?
Yeah.
It's for.
One is for adult ed,
Right, that's right.
but
I,
just the what's your art, as a matter of fact, Sandra loved that. She was gonna talk. Keisha, have you spoken to Sandra yet?
No, I have not.
She loved the what's your art thing. But
That
anyway,
should be in there somewhere too.
yeah,
that could be what it says.
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
That's what that was kind of what I'm thinking.
Plain and simple.
Yeah.
We could
Yeah.
even, it's you can still do like your slogan if we can. Day without art is like a day without sunshine.
What's
So
your-
what is your art?
Yeah, I like
So
that.
what is your art?
It's more words, I was trying to get a little more.
Yeah, I
specific,
know,
but
I know.
like that.
And then say, so what is your
Yeah,
art?
yeah,
Right.
It kind of ties
And then
in.
comes
So
at the bottom, like, get involved,
Yeah,
here's
yeah.
how you can,
Right.
here's all the stuff that's
Right.
happening and.
exactly.
Well, I thought, I also came up with this idea, because Joyce was telling us all of these facts about the history of the MCA. And I was
Yes.
like, wouldn't it be cool if there was like a trivia happening on the screens, where it's like, Joyce, are you there? Like she was talking about how she said the first,
Hello.
Meeting, the first,
meeting was in 1972 or something like that.
there's something, but yes,
And the
1972.
The first grants were like $250.
Oh, yeah, less.
It's like fun facts.
And for only
Fun
facts, only
Yeah.
for organizations, right, so,
MCA fun facts.
Yeah.
right,
I think
right.
she's unmuted now, Joyce.
Yeah,
can you-
Joyce, you there?
Hi there. I am here. I turned off my video and I'm not sure what happened to my little square, but I've been listening.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we talked about possible trivia on things. Some people's memory might go back that far, but others wouldn't. But I think there's lots to do.
Would you and maybe Barbara be able to come up with like a list of fun facts that we could
At
have?
some point, yeah. Probably.
That'd be
Perfect.
That'd be great.
Perfect.
Instead of sitting there.
Get like the, yeah.
Anything else? Charlotte?
Yeah, when we were standing in front of the window, it was very, very, very hot. Had a lot of reflected light. So I think Sandra, the Downtown Business District is excited about this. We thought that if we could ever get some kind of an awning or something over that would be great because it really would help.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
it
for
would
the
help.
middle
Oh, it's for the
Now,
middle.
that, I don't know.
I don't know if that's possible because
Well,
it's a private building,
But
really.
yeah, but we could
Well,
maybe.
well, actually it belongs to the Board of Ed.
Does it?
No.
No, it's privately owned. The Board of Ed
And
rents
rents
it. That's how it
Oh,
is.
you mean the building
The
itself?
building
Oh, oh,
itself,
oh,
yeah,
okay, I'm
yeah,
thinking
yeah.
about
But I
that.
wonder
Okay.
about the $100,000 grant that Jen Alexander.
If there's, some of it could be used, right?
Dressing up that window.
Yeah, we'd have to talk to Sam about it, and then they'd have to find out who the owners approach a part.
Yeah, well, it's just a thought. It's-
Permanent picture.
Yeah.
No, it's not a bad thought, but
My
Yeah, it's
understanding is
not
that
cheap.
the building may be going up for sale, because I heard secondhand that, well, my daughter was looking at the Barbara Doll's space, and she met with whoever owns the building, and he said, to be honest, we're selling it.
but that doesn't mean adult ed will go away. It just means
No,
he's
it just
selling the
means it's
property.
unclear who owns.
Well,
the-
this is when you're attaching a permanent structure like that
Yeah,
with
yeah.
grant money and it,
You
you're
don't know what's
to
gonna
somebody
happen.
else's building, that
Yeah,
might be an
yeah.
issue. So anyway, it's something to think about.
Yeah, because it was hard to see visually
Yeah,
what was
yeah,
going on.
yeah.
It would be hard. So that's just a
Unless
thought.
we could get something that may be
Something temporary?
Temporary,
Something?
yeah. some kind of shade or something that's temporary.
Yeah.
It's probably possible. All right, that it? Any other?
We,
Committee.
so we are trying to actively seek purchasing some artwork. We actually, I thought there was artwork in Brubaker's and come to find out it was it was cloth. It wasn't not a painting. But we are, Julia has some pictures. I have some,
Yeah, actually, I have them right here.
yeah, I asked her to make some copies. So this is a person who lives in Middletown, has had some mental issues, but has done some kind of very interesting drawings and some paintings I thought we might be interested in, and I think mental health is really important.
Well, aside from the whole mental health, she's a talented,
She's very
talented
talented.
artist. I like her work a lot. So just, you could pass them around. Her name is, Kimberly Dragone. She works in, a variety of mediums from, media, charcoal, and yeah, just about, a lot of collage work. And I'm passing around the pictures, but I can also send around emails.
Okay. That's so it's a,
Yeah,
She was associated with the Church of the Holy Trinity. Her mom was
yeah,
Lois.
her mom was a member of the church, I don't know about her. She just had a show at the Free Center.
at the Free Center, yeah.
Last month, oh, those are just,
These are more.
yeah,
Oh,
no,
they're-
that's just copies of them. This
They're very
particular-
interesting.
This particular.
You know
one.
Lois?
And then each one's like a different style. That's what's kind of-
Lois Dragone's daughter. Those are her pictures.
Oh, I know Lois Dragone. I didn't know her daughter. No.
Yeah, she passed
Anyway.
away last year.
Yeah, she just.
So we're seeking
Okay,
some purchase
all right.
forward, okay?
great.
No, I just wanted to.
All right, are we all set with,
Can I
Tony?
report on this?
Yes, you may, Barbara.
It was a good month for Middletown
Dairy Queen just.
music and Middletown music reputation, because we not only had our series of concerts going, well attended, and also
It's amazing.
at the mansion,
Mhm.
the concerts, and people knew they were coming and relying on them. And then let's not forget that it was indoor at the Buttonwood Tree, but that was going full blast during this month also. So I just think that we're keeping up our reputation.
Great. All right, that it for committee reports?
The commissioner recommendation seems to be on the agenda, I'm not sure.
It is, and
Okay.
we'll get to that.
There was something, does that include the communications with Wesleyan about getting a Wesleyan student involved?
We'll get to all that. We'll get to all that. We had a meet, Keisha and I met with the mayor this morning, so we're gonna get to all that.
I don't know who's heading up the poet laureate, but I'm seeing posts. I haven't spoken directly to Cheryl, but I'm getting that she's moving, so I don't know when the term for poet laureate is up, but.
Keisha's on top of that. I think she's
Okay.
brought that up in the past, so.
Okay,
Yeah.
So I can actually answer you on that. Poet laureate we normally try to assign the new poet laureate in October.
Okay.
It's not in stone, though. We do it whenever we find one. And it's finding one. This month, last month, into this month, I have approached multiple poets throughout Connecticut. There's a poet laureate group in Hartford. And I got them, I talked to Cheryl, and I've asked all these people to spread the word throughout their groups that we're looking for a new poet laureate, and that they have to be from a Middletown resident. And they were pretty open to it. I received only one reply back from the Hartford group, from a poet named Pitt Piniger.
Oh,
Pit
Penninger, yeah, I know her.
Yeah, yeah, I've heard the name too.
Yeah.
Pit
She used
Penninger?
to,
It's like vinegar, but with.
Penninger, Pitt Penninger, she used to teach, in the Center for Creative Youth program.
I think Jen took a course from her during one of those summer sessions.
She lives in Middletown?
No, but she replied to you.
She's
She
not-
replied to me, and she's going to send it through among her people.
Oh, good, good, good.
And so it's going right now among groups of people. And it's funny because anyone who has replied, I asked them to reply in writing. Anyone I spoke to mentioned Wesleyan. That was like their big thing. And I think we'll have to look back at the bylaws that we created for poet laureate. But I believe a poet laureate can be someone, if they don't live here, that they work full-time here in that. Am I correct on that?
Yes, you can be working here too, but you know, it's not necessarily living here.
Okay, so that's all I know.
All right, are we all set? All that? Slate of officers, I think we need to vote on that tonight. I think the last meeting, Lee will be the chair, I'll be the vice chair to keep the continuity for the anniversary, and Dominique will be our treasurer.
Okay. Secretary.
Secretary, I mean, jeez. Oh, yeah, I'm tired,
If we
secretary,
voted.
okay?
I want to be treasurer.
Yeah,
All right, so.
which we have a treasurer, a treasurer.
So that's the slate of officers,
Yeah, lots of.
and can we have a motion? I can't vote, I know.
No, you have to ask if there are any nominations.
Are there any nominations from the floor? First of all. I didn't think there would be. And I wanna, first of all, let me step back a minute. First of all, I wanna thank Julia and Kate for the efforts they put in and the energy they put in. It's not always easy, especially because this year was an unusual year because we have the 50th anniversary. So I just wanna first and foremost say thank you to both of you for the due diligence you put in, for the questions you ask, for your meeting with the mayor. I just want to say thank you for the effort that you put into this. Sometimes we think things are very easy, but they're not as easy as we'd like to think. So I just want to say to both of you, thank you. Okay. So with no nominations from the floor, can I have a motion to accept the slate of officers as been stated?
I make a motion to accept the slate.
I second. Oh, can I second or?
seconded it.
Okay.
But you can second it if you want.
You can third it.
You can third it.
All right, no more discussion on that? All in favor? Okay, so we have our new
We're
slate.
supposed to always write it on the paper. Remember?
Keisha, did you get my
Well-
vote? Keisha, I did vote, yes. So,
Okay,
Thank you.
okay.
But we can change.
Well, I mean, we all kind of knew that to keep the continuity, we can stand on, and we didn't have any other, if we had had nominations from the floor, then we would have had to do it on a piece of paper, but I think we're good. All right, okay. 50th anniversary discussion. I think we kind of decided at the last meeting, we're gonna make our big celebration the last
Friday?
Concert series in August 25th. Yep. And I think we just have to figure out, I would almost say, take a small committee. I mean, I don't know, just take a small committee, figure out some of the and most of it's already set. And then just figure out what we wanna do. That would be my suggestion. I mean, that's just my opinion. I think, cause we'll get bogged down in too much. I think 2 or 3 people can get together, come up with like a plan for that day, and then an email can go out and kind of, since we don't have a meeting in August, and then people can just say yay or nay or whatever. That would be a suggestion, I think, but you can shoot me down, that's okay. But I think that's the easiest at this point.
You want a
So-
new committee for just the
It's
15th?
just, no, it's not necessarily a new committee, it's just gonna be a couple people get together and kind of come up with a plan for that day. And,
Well, why not a committee?
well, you can call it a committee, I mean.
Yeah,
it's
why,
two-
why doesn't it be a?
Well, they say we're 2 or 3 gathered. So,
Yeah.
2 or 3, you can call it a committee, but I'm just saying, you know. So, Lee, that'll be up to you at this point, from there, all right? And we can go from there. You can just get an email out and whoever's available.
Who's performing that night?
I have not scheduled yet, because I'm
Oh, okay, still working on it.
still working on it, but it's the easy part, that's the easy part.
Yeah,
Getting someone to play.
well, as far as like food
And that's
and,
gonna
you
be
know,
here?
activities,
Yeah.
we might
Main
wanna get.
location is South Church.
We might want recreation, we might wanna get the recreation department in to get some children's activities. You know, I said, bring in other people in to have activities for the kids as well, and, you know, get, Kim from recycling to maybe set up a little thing for the kids that teach recycling. I mean, you know, so those are just kind of some ideas I'm throwing out.
Question.
Keisha.
I read in the minutes somehow that they had 2 musical groups were engaged for that night.
Keisha hasn't set anybody up yet, she said.
So she doesn't,
She doesn't know who she's gonna get yet, she hasn't done that, she hasn't
No,
booked
no.
anybody.
oh, well,
She hasn't booked anybody yet.
no, but I thought that this was going to be the celebration rather than just another concert with a.
Well, it is, but we're still gonna have music. It is, but
We're
still gonna,
we're attaching it to
Right.
the last summer sound.
right, but we're still gonna have music, yeah. So,
It'll only be those 2, well, I don't know, I'm not.
yeah,
The
so,
committee will talk about that.
yeah, okay, all right. Moving on to new business, MCA Commissioner recommendations, okay. Keisha and I met with the mayor this morning. We did give him Anthony Pandolf's name. Carrie Kinsey cannot be considered now. She's gotten married and her residence is now in Portland, so she cannot be considered.
And she married the commissioner, head of the commission in Hartford, Connecticut.
Oh.
So.
I think
yeah.
you've all seen Richard.
Richard, right,
Richard.
Richard, right.
So her residence is in Portland, so she cannot be considered. We did talk a little bit about going forward, and one of the things that, I said to him, and this goes in conjunction with the Wesleyan student, we don't wanna just put people in. We wanna give some thought as we bring people on and not just stick a person in a position. We wanna make sure that they're gonna bring an expertise, bring something to the table where we may need, like, we've got Dave as a graphics designer, we have an attorney. We wanna bring people in who are gonna promote the arts, but also bring an expertise to the table that will help continue to move us forward. And the same thing with the student. We want to write up, the recommendation was, we're gonna write some kind of a, I won't say job description, but something along that line, and then go through Clifton, Watson. And because that's really where that should fall.
Who
And
is Clifton Watson?
he's the
Head of-
director of the community partnerships for Wesleyan. So if you're looking for interns or anything of that nature, nonprofit or whatever, and you want internships or people to serve on your board, it really should be going through that department.
Was that Rod Rosenthal's old spot?
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
yes, because I was on the advisory committee when he was there, yes.
Community partners, they call
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
Okay.
I think what a Wesleyan student brings is that a lot of times Wesleyan students don't feel connected to.
oh, we have no objection to the student. No, there was actually no objections to the
Yeah.
student, but what we want is that student to understand what were the expectations
Yeah,
from them, so.
Yeah.
But we need to put something in writing.
right.
There's
So we
no
just
form-
don't say, we need a person,
Yeah.
but that student also understands
What their
what we're
responsibilities
expecting
are.
from them,
Yeah.
exactly. And then we want somebody who's gonna be committed, so that's, no, we have no objection with
Madam
that.
Chairman, and add to that, there is a job, quote unquote job, description for the student rep, which is the high school rep.
Yeah.
That is in the city ordinance, we have that written up. Anything outside of that, we do not have written up for like a Wesleyan volunteer, so
Okay.
the idea is to have that written up and established so that anyone who comes into that role knows exactly
What they're.
what the expectations.
And so are we gonna pursue a high school student as well for the fall? And who's the avenue for that?
Well, the mayor's been working with he's gotta work with Justin on the youth and his youth council. So he's going to have that discussion as
Yeah.
part of his discussion on the youth mayoral council or whatever he does. So we kind of let him know, we reached out to Justin, but Justin's had a lot going on, Carbonera. So he's gonna handle that part of it.
Okay.
Because it's more than just what our needs, it's overall for the
Right.
city, so.
Yeah, there's
It's
at
gonna
least,
address all of
there's
that.
a half dozen or dozen commissions that
Yeah.
the city ordinance requires a student rep sitting on.
Yeah,
Just-
And just for two of you or who's ever dealing with the Wesleyan student, for other projects I've done, if I need a contact at Wesleyan through the students, I usually go through the Wesleyan Argus. There are kids, I say in a great term, kids who are young and talk to everybody, and look at all parts of their college and can answer a lot of questions for you and are used to going out into the community.
Yeah, but that's what kind of, where, if you look at the community partnerships, that's kind of what they do overall for a lot of organizations. And then they reach out because to Kate's also concern is hopefully, because some of them, they can get a credit towards it, but that all really has to go through that department.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because he takes care of all those needs for anything that the community wants to do. So that they can earn a credit or half a credit or whatever towards their whatever, but we really should start there. And then let him reach out to whoever he needs to reach out to, or his office. So that's kind of what we discussed. Did I forget anything, Keisha?
Did you discuss Ronnie Arbo?
Yes, so we did discuss that because, as being a Democrat, so she will be on the list. And, as we move forward, of course, with the charter stuff, so we need to start developing that list, so she is on the list, so that we have candidates. So
Right.
you're in with the window and asking somebody, that's a good way to reach out to the community, because we're not having broad enough reach to pull people in. Because as somebody said to me, in the city of Middletown, you can't find 2 or 3 people that wanna serve. But we don't have,
We don't know.
we didn't have a real venue to advertise.
Yeah.
And you don't wanna, I thought about putting on
You don't-
Facebook, but then I'm like, oh geez. So we wanna be careful,
Right.
as well as we wanna try to
We wanna
reach
get the
people.
word out.
And we
but-
will have to vet people as
Yeah,
well
yeah.
and do some homework research.
Another person who was interested was Bill Scullion, who, we have one of his pieces here, that was a few years back. I don't know if this name fell off the roster, but I know
Well,
he's still
Our
interested.
problem is right now that we need people who are not registered Democrats,
I wonder, yeah.
Yeah, we need.
I don't know if he's an
We need
independent or not.
as I put it, the term non-Democrats,
Yes,
Because well.
I know what you mean. It's a problem also at the mansion too.
Yeah,
So it's not.
because we don't have enough, so. So that was kind of, what we talked about, but really, looking at what are our needs on this commission? Do these people fill our needs? Again, like with Anthony, wonderful people I spoke to that, their kids grew up together, or parents of his students, had nothing. I mean, there wasn't one bad word. So that, and so I do my homework too. And so people I spoke to and put out there because I didn't know him. I know you all knew him, but I also wanted to hear from people outside of here and what they had to say. So,
See, Anthony's a very good example of what you were saying, where we want somebody. Anthony plays music, but he's much more of an administrator. He's education. He's not just like I used to say years ago, we don't want somebody who knows how to macrame and nothing else just because they do nice macrame. We don't need an artist. We need somebody who is working within the community already that is an art aficionado or appreciates art or has something in it. They do not have to be a painter or sculptor or a musician.
Right.
We're really looking for somebody who's got the affection of art and wants to help work towards art, because sometimes they tend to just focus on their desire in art and not look at it broadly.
plus he's young, which is one of the
Yeah.
requirements of marijuana. And not only that, he has access to young people. So maybe a way to include those youth. So he fits checks all the boxes that we were kind of looking for.
Is he a teacher?
Yes.
He's a teacher. Mm-hmm.
He works, actually, he works in Coventry, really. He works with E.O. Smith High School. He's the band director there. So he makes that commute up there.
Coventry?
No,
Well,
it's not
Coventry.
Mansfield.
It's really Mansfield, sorry.
It's right next to UConn.
Not next to UConn. Yeah,
It's like
Yeah.
an hour
Yeah.
away.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
I
it's,
hope he's not gonna move.
well, they just
Just
from
the-
there to here because of the new baby. His wife wanted to be near her family.
Yeah.
So that's
And
why we're lucky to
and,
have Anthony.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
very-
considering people, you have to sort of have a spread of people in what arts.
Yeah, no,
Hitched up
we
to
don't want
what
all of
art, you can't have them all visual.
Someone like Coach.
Well, that's why I'm saying we need to look at our needs and
So,
then
That's how you
go
do it.
from there, not just
Great
somebody brings a name
Yeah.
and says, oh, this person is interested. All right, that's great, that's a start,
Very nice person.
but what do they have? What can they bring to the table that we're lacking? And that's kind of,
But
That's
do
kind of-
you recommend this to the mayor? Because I always thought the mayor, well.
we do,
Okay.
we recommend the mayor is the one that does the appointing.
Then it has to go through a political,
Yeah,
Oh, I thought
then he
we
has to take it to the council, yes.
no, not that. I mean, there is the rule about so many Republicans, so many.
Well, that's why we're saying we can't have, right now, we don't have any slots open for Democrats. Right now, our slots are non-Democrats.
Uh-huh.
That's what we have open.
They
So,
could be independents.
well, that's why I said non-Democrat.
Yeah.
That's why I said, I don't wanna say Republicans, I wanna say non-Democrats. So they
That's
can be
true. That's true.
unaffiliated, they could be independent, they could be a Republican.
I
They
was
have to be-
independent, I think. when I
They
was
they have to be a non-Democrat is what we have now, so. And it's not a negative thing, it's just that that's what we have to have. So that's where we are with all of that. And also try to find somebody who really does not have any conflicts of interest, because when you run into certain situations, like 3 of us could not vote tonight, we wanna make sure we haven't stolen enough people out to quorum. So, that was the other thing. So, it's better to keep it that way, and it's
I
clean,
don't feel guilty.
and it's more people have access to information, because there's only 2 commissions in the city that give out money, and that's us and economic development. So we wanna make sure we're doing everything above board, because God forbid, somebody's gonna say that didn't get a grant, well, what happened? And then if somebody's here and they're involved, then that brings up a whole lot of issues. So we just want to keep ourselves clean and above board. So if we can, it's not always possible, but if we can. Other than that, that was it for the discussion. So I think Keisha would cover, I covered it all. I didn't leave out anything else. Okay. All right. McCall Ward payment process, I think you kind of discussed it a little bit.
It was
In the
briefly touched on, but
Yeah.
to reiterate, Lee, I think that I just would like to state and put on record that the process should be cleaned up a bit.
Yep.
So that it's not such a fumbling act when it comes time to delivering these awards to the awardees. And that an MCA commissioner should be at the podium presenting the award. I highly recommend, as opposed to myself. I've done it for the time, all the times that I've been here for 4 years. So I think it would be best represented if given by the MCA to be presented by an MCA commissioner.
When do they have that?
It's right before graduation. It's the award ceremony for Middletown High School.
It's usually about a month before graduation.
It's about
They
an
do
hour and a half
awards,
program.
Assembly. I
And-
remember
Well,
that.
Keisha, it's kind of changed a little.
I'm sure.
Like 5-6 years ago, Charlotte will tell you, we had more politicians that were there doing things, and it was a kind of a political thing for the coordinator to be there and represent that department of the art with other people that were giving awards and community members and things like that. So
I open up my discussion, my speech with, or partly through, on behalf of the MCA. And I
Yeah.
reflected on that, and I said, instead of being on behalf of the MCA, I believe a MCA commissioner should present it, because
Sure.
I'm talking about the MCA through the presentation. Either be a co-pilot with me or be the representative, that, signs the check, writes the letter, hands it to the student who's awarded. And, in my speech, I list every commissioner and council members, I think, and thank the mayor. So I just think it would better platform the MCA as amongst all of the groups that are there. These are organizations who committee members are there. That's who's there.
that's actually totally up to you. We were offering you the opportunity to showcase, and if you want it, fine. If not, you can go with somebody else.
All right, well,
Let us know.
yeah.
It's during the day though.
It's in the
just like-
morning,
It's
which
in
is
the morning.
difficult for a lot of us who
Eh,
work,
yeah.
and that was
It's
the
like it would be
problem.
impossible for
Yeah.
most of us.
For most of us, it's,
To
yeah.
be there in the morning.
It's
Yeah.
about
Morning.
9, between 9 and 9:30 exactly.
It's actually a great ceremony.
Oh,
Very
yeah.
That's the first place I met Anthony Pandolf. He was receiving like 5 awards
Got a student?
Oh, you met him as
as a student. Yeah.
When he was a student.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, yeah, so we've gotta step up our game a little bit more as far as MCA commissioners and not leave it all on Keisha's shoulders. And that was kind of the other thing we discussed this morning too. We really should be a standalone commission in the sense that
Just try.
Keisha staffed us, but a lot of the things that are doing, we can't just drop it in her lap because she does have her job. We have to actually kind of step up a little bit more and do a little bit more and not assume because Keisha's the arts coordinator, it's all her job. No, if it's an MCA thing, then we should take some more ownership and leadership in that. So, to ease up some of the things and not just drop it all on her because she's sitting in the office all day. We can make a phone call. There's a few things that we can do and show up to something like that. Plan in advance and show up to do that. Show up to the Summer Sounds concerts and, do the introduction and those kinds of things. And if no one's available, then yes, she should step in, but we really need to do a little more than we've been doing. And myself included, I'll be the first one to admit I haven't done as much as I could have. I have a little challenges with the business, but probably could have done more than what I was doing as well, so I'm talking to myself as well as everybody else.
I don't
That
know,
I
I
don't
see
feel
you
I've
at
done
every
as-
event I go to. I don't remember everything, but I see you at every event that I'm at, so.
So
I
I
don't
just
know
feel
what-
like I could have done a little bit more myself, so I'm kind of preaching to myself. So I'll try to do better, in the coming year. If nothing else, any announcements?
Last announcement is the
Yeah.
concert tomorrow, 6 PM, likely if it's raining at South Church. I always plan to be on the mic as host, as I did for the fireworks festival. But do know the mic is open and available, any commissioner to speak on behalf of the MCA and express yourself as you may wish to represent the MCA.
I cannot be there tomorrow. Somebody else could. Barbara?
I just want to call attention, 4 members of the Middletoners passed away in the last month and a half.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And they are Eric Meisner, David Dunkley, Joe Rafala, and Judy Hamilton. So when you have a group of older people
Mm.
as a chorus,
Mm.
they pass
Yeah,
away too.
yeah,
I feel very sad about that. And others do too.
Okay. Any other announcements? Can I have a motion to,
Wait, we can't yet.
huh?
Just one more thing.
What?
We haven't decided if we're gonna have August meeting or not.
We did that earlier. Or do we have to make it, all right.
The gavel.
Normally we cancel, we don't have a meeting in August. So do we need a motion for that?
I'm not gonna be around. So,
Well, I thought we said that we were gonna have this little subcommittee getting
Yeah, I
together to
thought that
plan.
we are-
Right, but not a commission, a formal
Not
commission.
a formal commission
Yeah,
meeting,
not a formal
but
commission
if you
meeting.
wanna have a motion.
But what I'm saying is, for a formal commission meeting, normally we don't have a meeting in August because most people are out and about and away.
Plus, we're all very involved. We have the open air markets going on too, and this event. I mean, I think we're planning to do.
Right,
right.
right, there's
So
the
you
open.
don't have to have a motion, you just have to make a statement.
Okay, so August meeting is canceled,
Very
other
well.
than any subcommittee that we need to meet on. All right?
Yeah.
All right, very good.
Perfect.
Can I have a
Now I'll
meeting
make a
adjourned?
motion.
Okay, meeting adjourned at 8:11.
Who was the second on that?
So
I'll second it.
we want to thank you for your
Yeah,
serving as our president. That was some feat.
yeah, is that